Hey everybody, welcome back. And today we are going to do a little variation on recommended reading. I mentioned in my last one that I was going to do one on my podcast that I've been listening to. I wasn't really into a lot of podcasts before. My husband listens to them all the time. And I had maybe one or two that I would listen to. And then I just got kind of in a rut where I was not finding any books that I really wanted to read. And I was like, all right, well, let me, try a couple podcasts that had been recommended. And then I just kind of went down the rabbit hole. So I'll try and just put the covers over here, with the recommended reading so that you can note all the info or whatnot. But the first one is Cold. And first off, a lot of these are crime ones because that's just what I'm interested in. But the first one is Cold, and it is the story of Josh Powell, and I forget his wife's name, and their two children. But it is a true crime podcast about a man in Utah that his wife went missing, presumed dead, by pretty much everybody, and he did it. And the years-long battle between him and law enforcement and the courts and his family. He had a really messed up family, and it ultimately ended in him getting rid of both himself and his children in a very disturbing way. So I believe there was 17 episodes. It just finished up the final episode and it was riveting. It's probably disturbing, not probably. I mean, it is disturbing. I don't mind listening to things like that, but definitely one of those things where you may not like it if you can't stomach listening to things like that. Next up is Court Junkie. This is one of the ones that I had listened to before. I just really, really, really love this one. She goes over court cases. Usually they are murder or attempted murder, something like that. And she will kind of go over the evidence and then go over what happened during the trial and what the outcome was. I like the way that she does it. Each episode is roughly an hour to an hour and a half long, which is great. I like having a nice long podcast to listen to, so I enjoy that one. Next up is Crimes of Passion. This is a new one. They only have, I think, maybe 4 episodes or something. But this one, I believe all of them are in 2 parts. And they first talked about this, I think, Iowa or Nebraska couple, and how they very in a grisly way got rid of the parents of their threesome lover, which was very weird. This happened in the 70s, I think. And then the next one that they did, the most recent one, was Jodi Arias. And I gotta say, I remember when all that went down, but I don't remember hearing all of the details, even though I feel like I watched a lot of stuff on it. But hearing the details in that podcast, whoo, she's crazy. She is crazy. Yeah, and the details. Next up is Cults. And this one is really, really interesting. There are several episodes, tons of episodes, and all of these are 2 parts also, and they're roughly an hour long a piece. And it just dives into all different kinds of cults. There was one on Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan, which was really interesting. There was one on, this one from Africa, the Lumpa Church. And so many. I can't even remember, but I listened probably in the past week. I listened to 20 episodes of it. It was really, really good. And next up is Dirty John, which is one that I feel like everybody knows about. And it's really the one that kind of made me want to look more into different podcasts, because everybody was talking about it, and I was like, all right, screw it. I've put it off long enough. I'll just listen to it. And then I really enjoyed it. And it's about, if you don't already know, and are living under a rock like me, it's about this guy who pretends to be a doctor to date this wealthy woman, and how he basically just goes like completely nutso on her life. He's like a male bunny boiler, and how things ended. Next up, I got to this one because of that one, and it is Dr. Death, which is a guy who was a doctor, but a really, really bad one. And he was a like neurosurgeon, so he did like things to do with the spinal cord and nerves and stuff like that, which scares me. But the majority of his patients ended up either paralyzed or dead because of his complete and flagrant negligence. So that was really interesting and also very hard to listen to because it freaked me out. Next up is female criminals, and this is basically female criminals. And they go over, I think some of them are 1 episode, some of them are 2 episode ones, and they just go over usually serial killers that are female, or like prolific criminals that were female. Next up is He Said I Talk Too Much. This was one of I think the first podcast that I ever listened to, because my friend Meredith on here produces this one. She has, I think, 9 or 10 episodes right now. They're short episodes, so if you like a kind of shorter, easy to digest podcast instead of these crazy long ones, you'd probably like it. And she goes over a variety of topics. I hope that she posts more often, but I know that she's busy. But she has several topics. She did one on YouTubers that she likes to watch, and books and media and stuff like that she likes. She's done some on friendships and on fashion and stuff like that. So I think that that's a really good all-encompassing one to check out. Post more often, please. And then I have Mythology, which is just kind of interesting. I like stuff like that, like kind of hearing about like history or like pseudo history, like maybe it didn't happen, but it's like historical. And that just goes over all different kinds of Roman and Greek mythology. The next one is Over My Dead Body, and this one is, they do seasons, so they just finished the first season of it, and it was about who was it? Oh, that's right. I forgot for a second. It was about this husband and wife and their children, and they had a very nasty divorce, and they were both lawyers. So they kind of each were like pushing each other's buttons. And then the husband wound up shot in his garage. And the blame, of course, shifted to, did the wife have this done or whatever? But the person that actually is thought to have done it was not the wife, but connected to the wife. And there's speculation that maybe she didn't know about it, blah, 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 blah. I think everybody knew what was going on, but they can't prove it. But it was a really good story, and I'm excited to see what the second season is going to be of it. And then the last one is Unexplained Mysteries, which is another one that I listened to almost all the available episodes of that was on my app. And it is talking about just various unexplained mysteries, and they try to explain them or tell you how, okay, everyone says that this is an unexplained mystery, but here's what could be happening here. And in some cases, they do just flat out like prove it to be not what it claims to be. And in others, they're like, well, no one can really say for sure, but this is what we think happened. So they have some on unicorns, on UFOs, on the Holy Grail, the healing waters at Lourdes, King Arthur and the Round Table Knight people, and all kinds of things. So that was really interesting also. Those are 2-part ones, roughly about an hour or 45 minutes each. So there's all the podcasts that I have been enjoying and listening to. If you have any along that vein recommendations, let me know down below, because I've already gone down the rabbit hole. I might as well go even further down. So that is it for this video. I almost said episode, but this isn't really a series. Maybe it will be. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to look out for whatever's coming next. I don't know. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.